y'all, it's me, Janelle Grace Marie, and welcome back to my channel. I know you guys probably have 1,000,001 questions in your head, like, where are you at? Is this your new place? Is this your new spot? Have you been surviving med school? Did you drop out? And I'm gonna answer all those questions really quickly. But before that, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe below and comment, like, all that stuff, and turn on the notification bell. You guys already know the deal. Tell YouTube you love me, please. On today's video, I'm gonna give you guys a brief recap of these last 4 months of med school. And then I'm gonna give you guys some very highly requested tips on professional interviews. So these last 4 months have been very humbling. Like, I started off strong in August, recording videos left and right because I just got here, didn't even know what I was about to get myself into. And so yeah, sorry if you guys hear like noise, they're doing a construction. But yeah, let's start there. So in August, I was staying with some travel nurses, and you guys saw the video, hopefully you did or whatever. And the place was really nice, but I just knew that it was gonna be temporary because I needed a little space to call my own. So then I was like, well, let me go get some brunch from my mom before she leaves. And then I was like, this is a cute area. Let me just drive around and see what I could find. And I found my place. They were working on it and it was beautiful. And I just walked in. I was like, automatically, I don't care how much it is, and it's gonna be mine. So long story short, I moved in here the middle of August. Yeah. And I wanted to move later because I was already feeling the craziness of med school, but not like whatever it was, I was gonna have this place. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So I moved in here. I am by myself. I'm living alone, but don't get any ideas because my neighbors, they know me very well, and they will find you if you try to come look for me and act crazy. Just had to throw that in there. But anyways, this place, this area is just gorgeous. Living by myself has been really good for my mental health. It gets lonely, not gonna lie, but just having a space to really release and be myself and be like, take up all the space in the refrigerator, like, come on, like, y'all know that's unmatched. It is expensive. I don't know why y'all let me come out here to Cali broke, but it's really worth being by myself and really like exploring different parts of myself that I would not have known about if I was, you know, always interacting with people. So, you know, I meditate every morning. It's quiet in here, except for when they're doing construction, but it's okay. The community is beautiful. There are a lot of cute shops, and they opened up a plant shop last month. So it's just been perfect in that area. I'm still putting stuff together. I'm gonna give you guys like a little video probably of like my study space, because I mean, I would do an apartment tour, but it's gonna take me forever in a day to get my space to where I want it to be. So enough of that, I digress. So yeah, I didn't even have a desk for the first test cycle. I would study at the school and then come home just to sleep. But since then, it's been pretty good. I think that also like contributed to my stress. And if you follow me on Instagram, I did a whole transparency post about the struggles of transitioning. It was rough. I knew it was gonna be rough, but just going through it was just different. You know, sometimes you ask God, just like, yeah, I'm ready for the trials, I'm ready for the tests, you know, I'm ready to grow. And then you don't realize how hard it is to really go through that process. So yeah, if you wanna get some more details about how the first month went, it's on my Instagram @_JGMH if you wanna check it out. Anyways, so for the next part of the video, I want to give you guys some tips for professional interviews, because I know it's interview season for some of you guys. No, it ends around like March, April-ish. Hopefully I'll post this video before then. But yeah, I just want to give you guys some of my insight because my interview experience was a little unique. I had 2 interviews for medical school. One was in person and one was on Zoom because of COVID. I had 4 mock interviews. I had 1 for the school I'm actually going to now. It was a pre-interview, and then I wasn't really feeling them, so I mean, I didn't really give it much thought. I had 2 more with my pre-med advisor group thing, so which was a little helpful, but they didn't give me concrete advice. They just told me to stop saying and I was like, okay, I can do that. And then The last one was with my friend. He's a 4th year, and he gave me some really, really good advice. I needed somebody to tell me, no, Janelle, you sound dumb. And so he did. He humbled me. And the biggest thing that I got from that session, or those sessions, was to be myself, to be authentic. I was literally giving people answers that I thought they wanted to hear, and I was following a simple structure of how to answer every question. Okay, this is what I've done. This is a good characteristic that I have, and this is why I should be a doctor, should be admitted into your school. That's a great framework, but I realized that it didn't work for every answer, especially the one that I hate the most, which is, tell me about yourself. I don't know why. I think it's just me that I hate that question just because it's me. Like, I don't know why. Maybe I'm just weird. But that question is just always so weird to me because I never know where to start. There's so many things about myself that I feel like I should tell people, but especially in a medical school setting, it's just best to keep it simple. Like, where are you from? Who are you? Your position. Basically like a elevator speech. So here we go. We're gonna practice right now. Hi, my name is Janelle Humphrey. I'm a first-year medical student at Loma Linda University in Southern California. I'm originally from New Jersey, and I love to sing and dance, but I feel like medicine is my passion, and it's the best way in which I feel like I can serve my community. So didn't practice that, just off the cuff, cool. So just have that little elevator speech and throw some things in there about yourself, or throw 1 or 2 things in there about yourself that is a conversation starter. I remember my in-person interview, I had 3 people that day who interviewed me, and the faculty was like a biochem professor. He was so cute, like had gray hair, and he picked up on the fact that I went to a Christian school, and we talked about my faith for a little bit. And it's weird because you don't expect to talk about your religion in a medical school interview, but I did, and I just went with the flow. And because I revealed that part of my experience to him, you know, we talked, like, not so much so about the interview questions, but we actually had a conversation. So the goal of your interview is to actually start a conversation. It's not just to answer the question, because yes, people have things to do. They're not looking to find a new friend on interview day, but it's also good to see how easily you relate with people, because most likely if you're going to medicine, you're gonna have to interact with people and have conversations and do it well. So that's what they're really looking for. They're not looking for a cookie cutter. These are my scores, these are my grades, admit me. No. So that's the first thing I will say. Just try to be yourself and try not to stick to a specific format per se. You don't have to have a long drawn out answer for every question they give you, but just answer it well in a way that paints a full picture of why you belong to get that position or job or spot in the school. Boom. Another thing I will say, ladies, gentlemen, whatever, dress neutrally. I think for the in-person one, it was like a funeral up in there. Like, everyone, literally there was 1 person who had on navy, but everybody else had on a white top or a black blazer. It was really cold where I was at. Black blazer, pants, black shoes, black coat. I was like, you know, and so just keep it really simple. I didn't wear a lot of makeup, just went easy on the eyebrows, you know, for that. And you really want to do that because you want the focus to be on you and what you're saying and what you have to offer. You don't want their eyes to wander everywhere else. Like, oh yeah, that's a really, really nice, like, wing on your eye. Like, I don't even think I wore eyeliner. Just keep it really simple, because you want to be your authentic self when you go there. And I'll say this for my sisters, because there have been a lot of comments and conversations about how you should wear your hair in an interview if you're Black. Just gonna put it out there. So for me, the first interview, I had my hair pretty much just like this. Like, this is my wig. Like, had it nice, like curled a little bit. I think I actually had it straightened. Very minimal makeup, as I said before. I don't even think I wore lip gloss. I put a little bit of Carmex, call it a day. For my second interview, I wore my braids. And then for my white coat ceremony, I wore my hair out curly. So I honestly think there's nothing wrong with showing who you are going to be when you get admitted into the school, when you get into the school. Keyword when, not if, when you get into the school, because it's gonna be so hard to code switch once you get in there and people are like, oh, this is who I admitted, you know, and you want to also represent your community and who you are and be proud in that as you're becoming a professional. So I think that's the best way to start at the interview. So number one, they know who they're getting and you know who you're presenting to them and who you're gonna continue to be when you get into that school. So yeah, wear that fro, wear the braids, like wear the braid out, do it all, like go all out. And I think same goes for piercings and stuff. I don't have like piercings, and I think I just wore my watch to the interview. But if you have piercings, I mean, anything that's not like super crazy, it's appropriate. Because like I said, like they need to know who they're getting, and you need to be comfortable in being yourself at the school when you get admitted. Just want to emphasize that. Now I'm gonna give you guys some common questions that they might ask you on interview day. I'm 90% sure that they're gonna ask you this. So I already gave you one. Tell me about yourself, and that's when you're gonna give your short elevator speech and a short conversation starter so they can reference it later on in the interview. Next, another question that they ask all the time is, why do you want to go to our school? So this is a time for you to research, to look at their missions, values, aims, goals, all that stuff. Because they're not really asking you why. Because if they ask me why, and I really told them why I wanted to go to med school, I'd be like, well, I have plans. Like, I want to be a surgeon, so in order to do that, you guys have to admit me. No, seriously, why do you want to go to their school? It could be location. It could be that they have a certain emphasis on community health and outreach. Whatever it is, make sure that for the schools that you really want to go to, that you research this, so that when they ask you that question, you can reference, oh, I noticed that your values are X, Y, and Z. And me being experienced with ABC, I believe that we would make a great partnership, or that this would be a great match, or this is the perfect place for me. However you want to spin that is the best way to go about that answer. And usually that's really it. You don't have to go into this long, elaborate thing about how you love their school and how you cannot see yourself at anywhere else, because you also don't want to tell them that this is your only option. So that's for that first question. Another question that I'm sure you'll be asked is, what are your strengths? And it's usually paired with the question, what are your weaknesses? So I'm going to emphasize the weakness part, because you're probably thinking, why would I tell the medical school that I cannot wake up on time and I usually get myself in late? They don't want to hear that. They want to hear that you know that you're not a perfect person and that you have limitations just like anyone else. So when having a few weaknesses in your pocket for that answer, you know, it's just to have a standard 3, I guess. When you answer that question, give weaknesses or present weaknesses that can be spun in a positive light. I think mine that I always use is like, I usually overwork myself because I am a hard worker, and sometimes I neglect to realize that I need time for myself, or neglect time for like self-care, or I don't really say it like that. I hope I didn't. I mean, I'm in med school now, but anyways, you kind of get what I'm saying. I hope you get what I'm saying. Another good one that my friend shared with me was, I'm very, very passionate. I can get passionate about certain issues that I have no control over. Those things, those weaknesses will signal to the interviewer that you know that you have some room to improve, but they can very easily be turned into positives if you reframe your mind and if you work on making those into your strengths. That's how you kind of approach that question. I hope it was clear. If you guys have more questions, just ask me down below. I'll be happy to elaborate a little bit more. Another question they might ask you is, talk about a challenge. This is usually along the lines of conflict resolution. I almost say resolution. So I think I was asked this question in both of my interviews, but in different ways. The second interview on Zoom, I think she asked me something like, name a time when you had to diffuse a situation. And so I worked in retail for a year. I was a waitress for many years. So I was like, okay, well, I just pulled on a customer interaction that really wasn't my fault necessarily, because it was just a really, really packed day. But I just talked to her about how I would approach a person. Every interaction is a relationship in a sense. So I just talked to her about how I diffuse that situation and how I just calm the person down. Very simple, boom. A little story can go a long way. It doesn't always have to be a list of attributes that you give them, but a little story or anecdote or whatever, like to talk about the point, always works. But don't go on and tell like a story that will take 10 minutes, because they will stop listening to you after 2 minutes or something like that. I don't know. But just don't be long-winded. Just keep it nice, short and sweet. Get your point across, boom. Next question. Another thing I strongly suggest to do on interview day is to prepare a list of questions you want to ask the interviewer. Realize that this is a partnership that you're negotiating. Just as much as you want to go to the school, they want to have you. If they wasted their resources, their little pamphlets and bags and stuff for you to get there, you deserve to be in that seat. You deserve to sit there and speak with them and express to them why you are qualified. So with that, you want to prepare questions that will give you an idea of what the program is about. So just ask questions about the student social life, about the clubs on campus, about the things to do in the city you're going to be in, because you really want to get that insider. Ask things that are not on the website. So that means you have to go to the website and see what they have to offer and what you've heard, and again, start a conversation. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got a lot from these tips. Again, take it with a grain of salt, because at the end of the day, you can watch many videos, go to many websites and read many articles about how to conduct or how to have a successful interview for med school, but the key thing is to really know why you're there. Try to search yourself and ask, why do I actually want to be a doctor? Why not be a nurse? Why not be a social worker? They help people too. Why do you want to be what you want to be? So if you try to answer that question, I'm sure your interview will go well. It really comes from within. I can tell you all the tips and experiences that I had on my 2 interviews, but really understanding your direction and your goals and your purpose is really gonna help all the answers come easily. And it'll just be so natural that they'll be like, hey, this person is awesome. They're super comfortable, super chill. I feel like I know them a little bit, With that, I wish you guys well on this interview season, on the app cycle. If you guys have any other questions before I post another video, because it might be a little later, it might be past your interview date, just drop it down below or DM me on Instagram @_JGMH. I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions about my experience, my journey, and all that stuff. So yeah, just hit your girl up. I'm open. Even though I'm going through medical school, I've dedicated this time to really make sure that I have an outlet. We're all struggling. We all go through the same things. Like, you think you're alone, but you're really not. So just reach out if you want to. Have a good one, y'all. Stay safe out there. Make sure y'all are prayed up. It's been a rough one. That concludes today's video. I hope you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Comment below. I want to hear your questions. I want to hear from you guys. But until then, see you later.